and welcome to yoga. Today we are going to start sat down on a block. So if you haven't got one, go and get one. Okay. So today's going to be a mixed up class. There's no preference, so we're just going to go with it, see how we feel. So sitting up nice and tall on your block, take a really comfortable position because you'll be here for a little while. Sit up nice and tall. Imagine that cord through the crown of the head lifting you up. Just draw those ribs in so we're nice and secure. Keeping those hips planted down. So we're thinking about those sit bones. Remove the fleshy part of the bum out of the way. Really grind them down so we know that they're there. That's your foundation. So we're thinking here about the opening through the hips, so driving those knees down, not to the point where you're really pushing, but just thinking about that opening. So sitting up nice and tall, ribs are in, shoulders are stacked over our hips, and we're just going to start to think about closing off the eyes. So with every breath here, imagine that you're growing taller. So remember that cord from the crown of the head, taking the inhale, lengthening, find length through the spine. As you exhale, shrink down just a little bit lower, but hopefully on the inhale, you can grow just that little bit taller again. So using this opportunity to start to center yourself, being grateful for the fact that you can make it here today, taking a moment for yourself, making a little bit of room for your needs in your day. So we're going to start off with some even breathing. Up to you where you place your hands. You can take them to tummy and to chest, or you can keep them firmly planted down on the knees. It's up to you. But before we start, just roll those shoulders up towards the ears and then all the way back down again. We're going to just do another one of those. Just find that space. What we want to do is move those shoulders away, allow the chest to be open so that the lungs can fill. All right, so we know where we're going. We're taking our even breathing from 4 to 5 to 6 and then coming back down. So here we go. Let's take an inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, and 1. With the eyes still closed and the breath becoming back to its usual pattern, notice where the body is. Maybe you started to just rock forward ever so slightly. If you have, see if you can just engage the core ever so lightly. Begin to inhale again, lifting up through the crown of the head, finding space. Finding yourself back in that original position. And now, calm, empty mind, focused on yourself. See if you can think of an intention for today's practice. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Maybe you want to send some energy somewhere. Maybe it's all about you today, whatever it is. See if you can hold it in your mind's eye. Okay, gradually beginning to open up those eyes if you would like to. If not, no judgment. Let's take the hands to the back of the head, interlace the fingers behind the head, draw those elbows towards the side walls, thinking here about really pulling against those fingers so you can start to feel it through the shoulders. All right, from here, we're going to start to take our chin towards chest and then begin to round down through the vertebrae. So thinking here, it's not about getting all the way down, it's about finding that curvature of the spine in a really supported way. When you're ready, coming all the way back up. And then opening out those elbows, lifting chin towards the ceiling. Again, elbows coming towards those side walls, thinking about those shoulders squeezing together, the chin lifts, the chest is lifting, little arch through the back. And now let's come back, head to neutral, chin to chest, draw elbows in, start to curve through the spine. Come all the way back up. Open through those elbows, lift chin up towards the towards the ceiling. Chest is not on the ceiling. Take a breath, lift through the chest, little curve into the lower back. And then bring the head back to neutral. From here, let's take that right elbow down towards the right side, that left elbow lifting up towards the ceiling. Feeling that stretch down the left side, but feeling it into the obliques on the right. Back up into center and then over to the left side, dropping that left elbow, right elbow lifts. Keeping the torso nice and centered. So rather than drawing over with that right elbow moving forward, thinking about just keeping yourself nice and straight through the body. Up to center, and then releasing through the hands. Let's take that right hand down, sweep that left arm over. Come all the way up, switch up, left hand comes down, right arm sweeps over. Keep thinking about that right hip down. Switch up, let's come back to center, switch those legs out. From the other side, right hand comes down, left arm lifts, sweeps over. This time we're going to stay here. Start to reach with that left hand towards that far wall. Maybe some little pulses, maybe more sweep, like kind of larger sweeps, entirely up to you. Do what's right for your body. Bring that right elbow in towards the body to roll that right shoulder back. Left shoulder can begin to open, turning that chest towards the ceiling just a little bit. And then let's switch it out. Left hand comes down, right arm is going to lift, sway all the way over. And then again, large sweeps or little pulses, it doesn't matter. Just move with what's feeling good for you. That left elbow comes in towards the body, left shoulder rolls back. And then from here, we're going to roll that right shoulder back just a little bit as well, if it's comfortable. That chest comes up towards the ceiling ever so slightly. Maybe the gaze is there too. And then we come back. Okay. Let's remove the block. Unless you have particularly tight hips, then you can keep it. We're going to take that right leg away from us. Start to push through the heel, almost to the point where that the right heel is lifting off of the floor. So we're really strong through the quads here, really strong through the calf. Sit up nice and tall, take the arms nice and high. If you have a strap here and you know that you need it, bring it to the party. Take the torso over that right leg and then fold from the waist. So looking here about really making sure that we are hinging. Are you all right, Andrea? I can see you've raised a hand. I don't know if you're okay. She's okay. Okay, we're hinging from the hips. If you're there, then you can take hold of a strap if you've got it. If you're super flexible, you can take the bind underneath the sole of that right foot. The intention here is to lengthen the spine. So if you find that you're binding, but you're really rounded through the spine, then take the strap, take the tea towel, whatever you're using as leverage. Draw elbows in towards the body. Take the inhale, lift and lengthen. As you exhale, bring the nose towards the big toe. Think here about that left knee. We want to be pushing down so we can open through that left hip. One more breath here. Releasing the strap. Let's take that left hand behind us, sweep that right arm all the way round as far as you can reach, and then lift through the hips. Push through the pinky edge side of that right foot, lifting the hips, the right arm reaches back. Come into this lovely open expression. Lift through those hips, open through the chest. Feel the stretch down the front body. Keep breathing, don't hold the breath. And then sinking all the way back down again. Switch those legs out. Left leg comes long, push through the heel. So that heel is ever so slightly lifted. Doesn't have to be like that very long, but we want to kind of feel into it. We're going to take those arms up. We're going to take the torso over that left leg, and then we're going to hinge from the hips once again. That long spine is the intention. So once we start to round, we want to come back up. Find that long spine. Moving the belly out of the way, take the fold forward. Hook the foot with the strap if you're there. Draw the elbows in towards the body. Take the chest, make the chest nice and open. So by drawing those shoulders back and away from the ears, the shoulders can come away from the chest and the chest can be nice and open, and we just find more space. Check in with that right side, knee pushes down, open through the hips. Take an inhale, can we lift, can we lengthen, can we bring the chin towards that big toe? Not even close, me so far away. And then releasing the strap. Let's take that right hand all the way behind us, reach with that left hand, and then lift through the hips, lift through the front body, push down through the pinky-ish side of that left foot if it's comfortable for you. Keep control of the neck, but open through the throat. Take a breath. Feel the stretch down that front body. And then come all the way back round. Beautiful. All right, get rid of the strap for now. Come into a table on your mat. Starting here by just moving through some circular cat-cows. So really anything goes here. So up to you whether you want to start with your traditional cat-cow or if you want to go straight into some circular movements, working through the shoulders, working through the wrists, starting to feel it through the back, maybe into the glutes as well as you start to move backwards and forwards perhaps. And wherever you're at, think about reversing it now. Okay, and then pausing in your tabletop. Okay, from here we're going to extend through the right leg. Push back with the heel so the quads are engaged, the calves engaged. Knit that belly in. So we want to think about the tummy being drawn in towards the spine. We want to take the lower back dip out. Okay, so we don't want to be collapsing in the middle. We want to be nice and strong. Left arm comes away. I'm going to test your coordination here. We're going to make little circles with the foot and with the hand, okay? So there's a lot of coordination going on here. We're going to be feeling it through the core as we do that. We want to be feeling it in the glutes because we want to make sure that that mobility that is isolated through that right butt cheek, okay? So what we're looking to do is really carefully move. Now reverse it. Oh gosh. Turns out I only go one way. This is very confusing. I hope you're getting on better than I am. And then that left hand plants down. Let's bend at that right knee. Sole of the foot towards the ceiling. Core engages, lift through the heel. Squeeze the glute. We're going to go for 10. So that's 1. Here we go. For 9. For 8. For 7. Squeeze. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Take that right knee down. Let's come straight into gate. The foot comes out as a kickstand. Left leg is going to come long. Lift up through the left arm. It's just reaching to start with. Let's get our form right. Push down with the pinky-ish side of that left foot. Now we're going to sweep that left arm over past the ear. Create a beautiful line from the fingertips down to the pinky-ish side of that left foot. Roll the shoulder back ever so slightly. Find that openness through the chest. And now let's take that left hand back up. Let's lift through the left leg. Option to stay here if you want. Option to keep it low if you want. Entirely up to you. Or we can bring elbow towards knee and send it away. Let's go for 5. Here we go. 4, 3, and 2, and 1. Come back into your gate. Left leg comes down. Stretch through that left side, and then really open up through the chest. All right, bring that left hand down. Left knee comes down. Okay, so reset yourself here in your table pose. From here, let's extend through that left leg now. Remember, we want to check in with the core, so the core is nice and strong. And then we want to extend through the right hand. Keep the body down the center line. Now, let's see if we can take circles with the hand and with the foot. Doesn't matter which direction you go, probably be your preferred one, but we're going to reverse it in a moment. Gosh, I really don't know what's happening with my foot. No connection with it. Okay, let's see if we can go in the opposite direction. Keep squeezing that glute to keep that left leg elevated. Oh dear, you can't be good at everything. Okay, right hand's going to plant down. Bend at that left knee. Squeeze that left glute. See if we can keep the body down the center line. Core engages, glute engages. Lift the foot towards the ceiling. For 10, for 9, for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Brilliant. Left knee comes down, turn the foot out as a kickstand, right leg comes long. Push down the pinkish side of that right foot and then sweep that right arm all the way over. Find that stretch. Take a breath. And then begin to roll that right shoulder back, maybe turning the chest ever so slightly up towards the ceiling. Okay, options here, either keep your foot where it is, right arm can lift, right leg can lift. And then options, we can do 5 crunches or we can just stay here, whatever you fancy. Here we go. For 5, knee into elbow and away. For 4, and away. For 3, and away. For 2, and away. And for 1, and away. Right foot comes down. Find your gate. Really lift through the chest and stretch through the fingers. Push down with the pinkyish side of that right foot. Take a nice deep breath. Fill the lungs. Stretch down that right side body. And then right hand's going to come down. Right knee's going to come down. Okay. Make any adjustments that you might need to. And then we're going to go straight into our puppy. So walk the fingertips forward. Start to sink the chest down. Keep the bottom stacked over the knees. If you've got some space, option to take the hands together, pass them over the head so the thumbs touch the nape of the neck. Or if you're a little bit tighter, but you've still got some space, you can spider up the fingertips to just draw the chest a little bit lower. Taking some breaths here. Okay, we're going to come into thread the needle. Left hand is going to sweep underneath the right. And then we begin to lean on that left shoulder and upper arm. Lift either, take the fingertips of the right fingers and walk them forward, spidering up through the fingers just to get that really deep stretch through the shoulder as you reach for the front wall. Alternatively, you can lift through that right arm, or you can wrap it all the way behind you. So depending on what you're feeling at the moment, or a combination of all of them. Have one more breath here. Okay, right hand pushes down, unthread your needle, left hand is going to come down, Right arm sweeps underneath, rest on that right shoulder. Option here to just walk the left fingertips forward. And spidering up the palm means you've got a little bit further for that shoulder to go. Or lifting through the left arm or wrapping it behind you. Okay, from here, let's take that left hand back, push down, and then bring both hands back to the mat. We're going to move straight into, in fact, before we do that, take your block near the top of your mat, because we're going to come to that in a moment. So taking the hands to the mat, tuck the toes, and just hover the knees, okay? So we're just going to hover the knees. We're going to play around with plank, so we're just going to move through plank and hover table. So hover table here, push those heels back, extend through the legs, find your plank. Bend through the knees, find your hovered table. Knees aren't touching, they're hovering, I promise. Dark leggings, I don't know if you can tell. Okay, push the heels back, find your plank, squeeze the glutes, push the hands into the mat, separate those shoulder blades. Okay, last one here, hovered table. Chest comes towards those thighs, push the hands through the mat, and then begin to send the bottom up towards the ceiling. Find your downward facing dog. Walk out those heels. Really take your time here. There is no rush. Start to move through the heels, coming over the ball of the feet. Really wiggle through the bottom so that you can start to release into the lower back. If you need to deeply bend into the knees, think here about sending those sit bones up towards the ceiling. So you've really got this nice movement through the hip space. Okay. Right leg is going to lift. Lift with those toes. Find the stretch like you're trying to touch the ceiling with the toes. And now let's bend through that back knee. Draw foot in towards the bottom. Push the hips forward. Find that stretch through the groin and through the side and front body. And then from here, we're going to bring that right foot all the way through the hands. Okay, so we're in a supported high lunge here. So hands are still down. Just move through the hip space. Taking the movements backwards and forwards. Finding what feels good. Okay. Nice. All right, from here, we're going to come into a twist. So left hand stays down, that right hand is going to lift, and then you're going to open the chest towards that right side. Push the heel back, lift through the back kneecap so we don't have any lazy back legs. Maybe that right hand can wrap all the way behind you to touch the top of that left thigh. Roll that right shoulder back. Keep lifting through the back kneecap, keep pushing back with the back heel. Okay, right hand comes down. We're going to push through the hand so we can bring the right foot back to join the left in your down dog. Walk those heels out. Okay, find a moment in your down dog, nice and quiet, nice and still. Take a deep breath. And then this time, left leg lifts, reaching up with the toes towards the ceiling. Find that stretch. As long as you can make that leg. And then bend through the back knee, squeeze through the glutes, push the hips forward, keeping that right heel heading down towards the mat. If you're up on your toes, you can always use a little block underneath that right heel to balance you. Keep squeezing that foot in towards the bottom, keep pushing the hips forward. Okay, from here, that left foot is going to come through the hands. That wasn't quite as slick as the other one. From here, start to move through the hip space again. So keeping the hips lifted, we've got our hands to the floor, nice and supported. Rolling over the ball of that right foot, just finding some movement in the hips. A really nice way to do it. It's really supported because your hands are connected to the mat. Can't really go anywhere, but you can really move into the space. Okay, I'm going to slow here. Right hand's going to come down. Let's open through the left side, bringing that left chest, it's just the chest, through. Okay, lifting through the left hand. Now remember, back knee gets lazy. So we want to push through the back heel, lift through the back knee, and then maybe that left hand can come all the way round to rest on top of the right thigh, rolling that left shoulder back, maybe gazing up towards the ceiling or behind you, whatever's comfortable. Taking a breath, or two, your cheek. And then that left hand can come down. From here, we're going to head straight back into our down dog. Left foot comes back to join right. Start to walk out those heels again. Wiggle through the bottom. Okay, take a moment here. All right, the right foot this time is coming through the hands. We're going to come up into warrior one. So just shift that left foot in ever so slightly and then come up. We've got our front knee stacked over that right ankle. Our back foot is about 45 degrees, maybe more, but we want our hip points forward facing, okay? From here, we're going to take the arms out initially as cactus arms. Think here about squeezing those shoulder blades together, really open through the chest. As we inhale, we're going to lift the chest towards the ceiling, thinking about opening through the throat, bringing the chin up towards the ceiling as well. And then as we exhale, we're going to bring the arms together, nice and strong here, okay? As we open, start to lift through the chest, lifting the chin towards the ceiling, opening through the throat, squeeze those shoulder blades together. And now bring them all the way back together again, nice and strong. Okay. From here, take the hands to the hips, come up to the toes on the left side. We're going to head through warrior three, and then we're going to find our half moon. So your block should be at the top of your mat, and you're going to want it to support on your right hand so that you can open through the hips on that left side. Okay, so taking it nice and slowly, hands to hips, we're going to start to take the weight into that right foot and then start to hinge from the hips. We're going to keep the hips level with the mat. So thinking about that left hip shining down towards the mat. Keep squeezing that left glute to lift through the leg. From here, let's take the hands away from the hips and you can wave those fingers behind you. Think about that long neck. So you want to think about the crown of the head reaching towards the front wall. If you are super into some core right now, you can take the hands in front of you. It's going to make it trickier, but it might be worth it. Who knows? Is it worth a burn? Okay, coming into our half moon. Right hand finds your block. Start to stack left hip on top of right. Okay, and as you're there, you can lift through the left hand. If you've got this, you might want to think about taking the right hand towards the floor. You might want to think about connecting that left foot with the left hand. Okay, lots of options here. Doesn't matter where you go. Thinking about the stability, oh gosh, through that right ankle and the strength through that right leg. Keep squeezing that left glute, keep that leg lifted. Bend, micro bend through that right knee, bring that left foot down. Swap the block over, take a forward fold here. Allow your torso to be heavy over the legs. Take a moment. And we're going to make a frame around the head by taking opposite elbows. Just starting to sway from side to side. Keep a nice deep bend into the knees, thinking about the bottom coming up towards the ceiling so that we can get a really deep stretch through the glutes, through the lower back, through the hamstrings. Keep the neck nice and loose. Let's swap out that grip. Take the opposite grip, the one that feels weird. Okay, pausing there. Whilst we're here, let's take that right hand down. We're going to lift through that left side as we bend through the right knee. So we're bending that right knee, lifting through that left hand, come into a twist. Thinking here about sending the bottom back to find this really deep stretch through the glutes and the IT band on that left side. Switching it out, left hand's going to come down, straighten through that right leg, bend through the left, lift through that right hand. If you're not near the floor and your stability is a bit of an issue, use that block that's right ahead of you to give you a little bit of purchase, bring the floor to you. Keep pushing the bottom back and find that the stretch just get a little bit stronger. Okay, then coming all the way back around. Okay, from here, we're going to take the left foot back this time. Right foot comes back about a leg's length. Coming up into our warrior one, take a bend into that front knee, keeping our hip points forward facing. Push down with the outer side of that right foot. We're going to take the hands or the arms to cactus arms. Okay, so from here, nice and strong. As we take the inhale, draw those elbows in towards one another. Find that stretch across the shoulders. Feels good. Take the exhale, open up. As we open up, begin to bring the chin up towards the ceiling. Lift through the chest. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Find the strength through the legs. Okay, let's bring those elbows towards one another. Really think about pushing those forearms towards the front wall. Those shoulders are separating, finding that stretch across the back. And then opening up once again, lifting through the chest, lifting the chin towards the ceiling. And then from here, we're going to bring the hands towards the hips. Okay, coming straight into our warrior three, taking the toe to the toes on the right side, taking weight into that left side, finding that core so we're nice and strong and beginning to lift through the right side. As we do, we're going to drop the torso as we lift the right leg and we're going to draw the right hip down. Okay, that's why we have our hands on our hips because they tell tales. Turns out the hips don't lie. Thank you, Shakira. Okay, so we're going to start to push back with that right heel, draw the right hip down. If you want to release the hands now, take the hands behind you. Create that lovely long spine. Neck is long, gaze down towards the top of your mat. Maybe for core, you want to take the hands in front of you. Keep squeezing the glute on the right side. Keep that right leg lifted. And now coming into your half moon, left hand can come down to the block or to the floor if you're super flexible. Open the right hip out to, I want to say the right hip out, that's not quite right. The right hip stacks on top of the left hip. Squeezing the right glute to lift through that right leg. Lift through the right arm if you can. And then if you've got the balance for it, and I say only if you've got the balance for it, and some space to fall safely, you can take the gaze up towards the right fingers, okay? Maybe if you've got the balance for it, you can take that right foot towards the right hand. If you're there, start to push through the hips, open through the right shoulder. Enjoy all the wobbles through the ankles. It's okay if it's not perfect. That's part of the learning, right? They say that as I wobble all over the place. Let's take that right foot down. Turns out my sofa is my prop today. Okay. Wiggle out the bottom. Start to lift through the heels. Just finding some movement through the lower back, through the legs. And then we're going to slowly begin to round down. So bring the chest towards the thighs. Bring the head down. And then slowly just begin to come down. We're onto the toes now, the heels are lifting. As they're lifting, we're going to pause here. Thinking about that stretch down the calves, down the ankles. The ankles have worked really hard today. So we're just going to pause here. If it's not particularly comfortable, okay, then you can always use a block to support you here, or maybe roll your mat slightly just to give you a little bit of support. And then slowly coming down to the heels, and then we're going to just roll over onto our back. Just make those little circles on the lower back. Taking them one way and then the other. Okay, from here we're going to take the feet flat. We're going to extend the right leg away and we're going to draw that left knee in towards the body. Interlace those fingers below that knee. Keep the shoulders back and down and open through the chest. Push through both heels. Bring that knee in towards the shoulder so it misses the ribs. Release here, take the right hand to the outside of the left knee. Left hand comes away from you and then just roll into a twist as you bring the right knee across the body. Maybe the gaze comes over those left fingertips now. Maybe it doesn't. Good time to slow the heart rate. Prepare for your final Savasana. Your eyes can be closed now. You can blame it on the bright lights above. You can just say, nah, I'm done, thanks. Let's roll that left leg back over again and switch it out. Left leg comes long, right knee comes in towards you. Interlace the fingers below the knee. Bring the knee up towards the shoulder and miss those ribs. Let's check in with the shoulders, see if we can move them back and down, create an open chest. Take some nice deep breaths as you push through both heels. And then releasing there, left hand comes to the outside of that right knee. Draw the knee across the body as the right hand extends away from you. And then taking that gaze over the right fingertips. Another breath here. And then unwinding, coming back to your starting point. Take the feet flat and then just windscreen wiper those knees from side to side. Just releasing any final bits of gathered tension. And then when you're ready, just walk those feet away from you, finding a place where you can rest for the next few moments. Resting out on your mat, maybe the feet come to opposite corners, maybe the shoulders are open, maybe your hands are in cactus arms, or maybe they're down by the side of you. Find a place that you're happy in, happy to rest. Put on a jumper, get a blanket, cozy in. Okay, so finding a really comfortable position for yourself. Remove any distractions, settle in, close your eyes. Start to turn the gaze inwards, focusing just solely on yourself. And all distractions melt away and only you remain. Take a deep breath in through your nose and then out through your mouth. See if you can count your inhale and count your exhale. Find your own natural rhythm. Try to keep your breathing slow, smooth, and even. As you inhale, imagine that you are breathing in calmness, peace, and strength. And as you exhale, imagine that you're breathing out any worries or stress, the heaviness that you might be carrying with you. There's nothing for you to think about right now. Just simply breathe. Feel the heaviness slip away with every exhale. And then with every inhale, feel lighter. If your mind drifts to feelings of worry, just be mindful of it. Notice it without judgment, then bring your attention back to your breath. The simple count of your inhale and your exhale. You are strong, powerful, and capable. You can handle anything that life throws at you right now. Take a moment to sit with that thought. You are strong, powerful, and capable. Remind yourself of that. Remember how you feel in this moment, calm, heavy, relaxed. And know that you got there simply through breathing. When you're ready, we're going to start to awaken the body. Take an inhale, fill the lungs. As you exhale, release through the mouth and take a releasing breath. Sigh it all away. Beginning to bring your awareness back to the wider world, starting to move through the toes and through the fingers, maybe starting to stretch through one side and then the other, making those wiggles on your mat, any adjustments, knowing that that feeling of relaxation is there with a simple breath as you breathe in and you breathe out. I hope you can take that feeling with you for the rest of your day. When you're ready, make your way back up to a seated position and I will be there.